Morning. It is Monday, December the 17th.
It is, and it will be all day today.
Thank you for joining us. Happy Monday.
Yeah, happy new week, and we start the brand new week on a Monday. Oh boy, and what a great weekend it was. Weather-wise, it was really nice. A lot of things going on. And out at Goldsboro Battlefield, man, the Goldsboro Battleground.
The reenactment.
Yeah, it was great. Lots of smoke and booms and all that. It was just fantastic.
It's always a great day, and they have such great reenactors that come from all over the United States,
That's
not
true.
just from across our state, but
That's
across
right.
the United States
That's
to
right.
participate in that reenactment.
That's right. You know, there are people, reenactors, who travel all over the country and do this, and they bring it to life, and it was a wonderful event.
Absolutely. We want to talk about who's on today's show,
Yeah,
Wayne?
let's take a look here. On today's program, you know, we had part one of the leadership conference last week. Today we'll have the second part of the two-part series, and that's coming up here a little later on. We'll hear from Bill Bryan of Mount Olive Pickle, Dr. Kay Alberson of Wayne Community College. We'll also hear from Bill Paw of Wayne Memorial Hospital and Colonel Levitt from Seymour Johnson Air Force Base. They will share their feelings, their ideas, their thoughts on leadership. And today, they answer the latter two questions, right, the second half. They'll answer the last two questions. And I think you'll find it interesting, very interesting, particularly the different ideas that they have. Of course, the bottom line is they're all after the same thing. But in regards to leadership, I think you'll particularly be interested in Bill Paw's response to a couple of the questions. And
you know, this is a program and a leadership seminar that was hosted by the Wayne County Chamber of Commerce, but also Leadership Wayne County, which is a program within the Chamber of Commerce.
Exactly right.
So this was a seminar they held, and they posed the same four questions to all of the guests that were there, the four speakers.
And it was very interesting, the answers they came up with.
And of course, after that, we have the Paramount Theater. Sherry Archibald, director, will be here, and she shares the history of the Paramount, and she also will discuss information about a 5-year gala they'll be having in February, and who all will be participating and entertaining, and who can get tickets at that. So stay tuned for all of that.
Plus, we're going to be going to Haiti pretty soon, and you're going to hear what?
What Wayne is talking about is the show will be going on a hiatus.
Oh, yeah. That's what I meant to say.
Which means we will have our last live show on December the 21st, and then we'll take a break, and you will see pre-taped and previously run shows, and then we'll start back again on January the 7th with our live shows once again.
That's exactly right. In the meantime, tomorrow evening, the City Council meets, right? Or tonight, rather.
Tonight the City Council will meet. At 5 o'clock, we'll have our work session, and that's in the conference room, the large conference room in the City Hall Annex. And then at 7 p.m., we'll have the formal meeting in the council chambers in Historic City Hall. So come and join us. And if you can't attend the meeting live, of course it is taped, so you can see it on Channel 10, but you can also see it on the city's Vimeo channel or YouTube channel. That's
right. And then, Kim, tomorrow morning, the Wayne County Board of Commissioners, county commissioners meet tomorrow morning. The briefing begins at 8 o'clock, and then the meeting itself actually starts at 9. And that's held in Commission Chambers, the 4th floor of the Wayne County Courthouse.
And of course, you all take those sessions as well, and they'll be run on your Vimeo channel too.
That's exactly right. Well, let's see now. Got word from Donna Phillips here about the Wayne County Public Library schedule for the holidays. And it will follow most of the county office holidays, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. That's the 24th, 25th, and 26th. Wayne County Public Library will be closed, as will the courthouse. Most of the offices here will be closed those 3 days. The Wayne County Public Library will reopen on Thursday, the 27th, and looks like they're going to be open Friday and Saturday as well.
Really? They'll be open on the weekends?
Mm-hmm. They'll be closed on, let me try that again. Okay. Here we go. Going to be closed on New Year's Day, but we'll be open on Monday the 31st from 9 till 6. So looks like Friday and Saturday they will be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday they'll be open, the 27th, 28th, and 29th. And then open on Monday, open on Monday as well, and then on Tuesday they will be closed for New Year's.
Most people will be closed for New Year's, I believe, most offices.
I think most of them will, yeah.
Very good.
All right.
Well, Wayne, what you got? Anything major going on? Anything major going on?
Well, there's a lot of major things going on. We are
Yes,
talking
it
about
is.
Wayne County here, but for one thing, there's something going on called at Scotland Neck, North Carolina, which is down east of us here. something called the 12 Birds of Christmas. They're asking you to get ready for a fresh take on the holiday's most parodied song with a trip to the Sylvan Heights Waterfowl Park in Scotland Neck, North Carolina. Instead of parroting lyrics, you can actually scan the 18-acre park for swans a-swimming and geese a-laying and other birds chosen for a holiday scavenger hunt. Sylvan Heights is home to 170 different types of birds. Can you believe that? Over 170. Anyway, that's coming up now, going on right now through January 3rd at Scotland Neck, North Carolina.
Well, Wayne, I wanted to mention a program that the City of Goldsboro, the Goldsboro Police Department, is implementing. It will start in January. And it is a program to fight crime in our community. It's the Goldsboro Partners Against Crime, or GPAC. It's a partnership between law enforcement, the judicial system, and our community. If you want to find out more about that, you can go to the City of Goldsboro's website, which is goldsboronc.gov. And right on the left-hand side, you'll see GPAC, or Goldsboro Partners Against Crime, and it'll take you straight to a page that'll give you detailed information about the program. You'll start to hear more and more about it, but it is a program that has been implemented all across the United States, but most heavily in High Point, North Carolina. It's done quite well there for over 15 years, and they have a 90% success rate.
Whoa.
That is major, a 90% success rate with this program, and we are going to implement that program here in Goldsboro. We have spoken with them on quite a few occasions, and actually tomorrow, December the 18th, there's a group that will be going to High Point again to meet with them and see what they call this part of the program is called a call-in. And it's where you call the person in who has committed the crime. He also meets with law enforcement, like your DA. He meets with your sheriff's department, your police department. He meets with people from his community, people from his neighborhood that are basically saying, I've had enough. We're not tolerating this anymore. You give them options to change. You provide resources for them, whether it's going back to school, whether it's a job. You help them find the resources to straighten out their life. But if they choose not to go down that route, then these people are taken right back to court and they are prosecuted, and they're being put at the top of the list, to be quite honest.
Wow.
So it's called GPAC. You can go to goldsboronc.gov, find out details about it, and you can find out about the group that is being put together right now that will be the representatives from these resources and from the neighborhoods.
That's interesting. That is.
So we'll give you a lot more details closer to January 1st.
Keep track and see how that works.
Absolutely.
That's great. So High Point's had good success.
High Point has fantastic success, and they've implemented this across the United States. As a matter of fact, Mayor Bloomberg from New York City has met with High Point, North Carolina, the officials there, to hear more about their procedures and process and why their program has been so successful.
Wow.
So it is known all over the world.
How about that? All right. All right, let's talk about what's coming up next on the program there.
That's right. We're going to hear part 2 of the leadership Wayne County. And the 4 gentlemen, no, not gentlemen, you had
the 4 leaders.
The 4 leaders here in our community that were answering questions about leadership and their leadership style. So let's hear what they've got to say from Leadership Wayne County and the Chamber of Commerce.
Okay, question number 3. What was one of the most difficult management decisions you ever had to make? Did you stand by that decision? Do you stand by that decision today, or would you do things differently, and why? And we will start with Bill Paul this time.
Okay, again, to frame the situation for you, this deals with back when I was working in contract management in hospital administration. And those of us that work at this level in a hospital, we work at the pleasure of a board. If you're in a contract management situation, that board feels like they need to go outside the community and have somebody from the outside come in and hire the administrator and this and that and the other. But you still work at the pleasure of the board. And what that means is that you need to be right in making your decisions, but you can be dead right when you make some of those decisions, and that it might not be a popular decision, and you may lose your job for it, and the board has the prerogative of doing that. And this particular situation was a situation where we employed the administrator, and he was doing the right things and this and that and the other at this hospital in Florida. There was an outside consultant from one of the Big 8 firms, so that's going to tell you how old or how long ago it was in terms of accounting firms, that came in and was providing some assistance with the board and whatever. And at the conclusion of one of the board meetings, the board chairman came over to me and said, "I need to talk to you." I said, "Okay." He said, "Why don't you give me a call tomorrow?" So I gave him a call, and he said, I need for you to come see me. I'm going to go to my mountain home in the mountains of North Carolina. I need for you to come on up and see me. So, sounded pretty serious. That's what I did. Got up there, and the guy told me that some of the powerful leaders in the community had suggested to him that this CEO needed to be replaced, and he wanted him fired at the next meeting. He didn't want me to communicate with him prior to that meeting. He wanted me to come in and be prepared to have him clean out his desk and to have an interim administrator prepared that could come in for it. And as you know, I realize that that's part of it's one of the issues, that's one of the hazards that goes with the territory. And I also realized that this was the second largest account that we had, and that it was substantial to our company. But I was really troubled by it because the administrator had really not done anything wrong. The other consultant that had come in had not gotten the information that he needed. He was doing it from 30,000 feet, and he was about to disrupt this guy's life. And so, I'm thinking I got to go tell the guy that I work for that I'm in this situation, and if I don't handle it the right way, we're going to lose this contract. And it was interesting because I went in not to ask him what to do, but to tell him, you got a contract here that's in jeopardy, and you just need to know about it. Don't be surprised. And as we went through the conversation, he looked at me and he said, "What do you think's right to do here?" And I told him, and he said, "Do it." And that really didn't position our company too well, because what I did is I went back and I called the administrator and told him I'd meet him in the Orlando airport, and I did. And I told him what was going on, and I said, "Listen, you need to get the story out with the power brokers in your community about what you're doing, and not have somebody at 30,000 feet take this away from you." And he did. He kept his job, we kept our contract, and so it turned out to be a nice day, but it didn't have to be that way. And as I look back, that was one of the tough decisions. Would I do it over again? Yes. Probably was lucky I got away with it, but nonetheless, having somebody at that level in the organization that looks at you and says, "Look, you do what's right." I think that was important. That helped me grow as a leader, and it's something I'll never forget.
In terms of my most challenging decision I've had to make, it's actually past, present, and ongoing decisions due to the nature of my job. Because being the wing commander, I'm the discharge authority, okay? We have many amazing airmen doing amazing things every day. But sometimes people are not able to adapt to the military way of life. We have a lot of rules. We have a lot of structure. and certain behavior is required. We have a lot of supervisors who do a great job mentoring, training, helping folks, because some of them are pretty young when they come in, and they need to grow up. And a lot of them grow up and do great things. But some of them don't adjust. And so when there's been a whole series of events of disciplinary action, and the person is obviously not adjusting to a military lifestyle, at some point, that discharge package will come up to me. And it's a pretty significant decision. You know, this is someone's life. They signed up, we're an all volunteer force. So this person volunteered to join our United States military, our Air Force specifically. And now we're at the point where I have to decide, because his commander is recommending that we discharge him from the Air Force before the terms of his enlistment, or her enlistment. So it's a tough decision, and I've had to make it a number of times, and I will make it in the future. And I take every question or every decision very seriously. You know, there's an entire package that comes up to me that goes, you know, step by step for everything that has happened, all the responses from the individual. And when I do decide to discharge someone, I sit down with that leadership team and we talk through how that transition is going to happen, how that person is going to smoothly transition to the civilian workforce. You know, because we want them to have a smooth transition and become a, you know, active participant, a contributing person in our society, and to look back and be proud of the service they did do, because they've all done good things in the military. Just sometimes they can't adapt. So I've stood by each of those decisions I've made, but every single one of them is very difficult.
Outside of the people that work for our company, the most important asset that we have is the Mount Olive brand. It's important that our customers have confidence in that brand, that they appreciate the values that that brand reflects, and that they feel good when they see that Mount Olive brand. We try and nurture that. We've done it for years in the quality of our products, the way we treat our employees, the way that we participate in the community. In 1997, we had a group approach us threatening a consumer boycott of our brand. It was in the newspapers a good bit. Some of it you may remember it. It was the Farm Labor Organizing Committee. They were a labor union that organized migrant farm workers, primarily in the state of Ohio. They wanted to come to North Carolina and organize farm workers here. They threatened our brand if we did not agree to their demands. They had been successful with strategies like this in the 1980s with companies like Campbell Soup, H.J. Heinz. They had a number of relationships with churches, student groups, and others. The tactics could be very personal. We had to make a decision if we were willing to say no to their demands, and frankly, we didn't even know if we could get farmers to agree to the demand if we tried to. And then we had to make the decision how aggressively we were going to respond, because these type of things take a great deal of time. We did decide that we were going to decline their demands, and we made the decision that we would be very active in telling the story of Mount Olive Pickle Company. And that took a tremendous amount of time, for me personally and others, away from other things involved with running our business. We traveled extensively. We spoke to groups, mostly that were negative to our position. We responded to thousands of letters and emails and telephone calls. We took every opportunity to tell our side of the story because nobody else was doing it. It did take a great amount of time. I think it was the right thing to do then. I think it's the right thing that we did today. One of the things, I had a chairman of our board who was very supportive of the decision, but said that he would do it differently. And about a year ago, I ran into him again. He's retired, and he made the same comment, that he would have done it a little differently. And I don't think he would put the time and effort into doing all the things that we did to get out and share our story. But he commented, he said, but it was very effective. You made the right decision. And my thought then was that, well, you may have been equally right in doing it the way that you would have done it. I think the important thing with that type of decision is to make sure that it fits you. and that it fits your values, and that when times get really tough, and when people are questioning the decision and you have a bad day, that you can be consistent and you can follow through and you can stay the course and achieve the outcome that you believe should be achieved by the way that you approach it. And I think it worked out well for us the way we did it. I think there might have been other ways to do it. And I would say to you, there are times when people in the organization question it, and you want to give them confidence. The last thing that our salespeople wanted to do out when they were calling our customer was to spend the first 20 minutes talking about why somebody was picketing their stores. That's not the way you want to begin a conversation, particularly with customers in what are relatively new markets for them. But that was the decision we made, and again, I think it was the right decision for our company, and it was the right way for me as the president of that company to lead our organization in this type of situation.
I too, as president of Wayne Community College, have the sole authority for dismissals. I pause because talking about it is actually quite difficult. As Colonel Levitt said, you have to put in an extremely large amount of time into these kinds of decisions, making sure that your team is behind it, making sure that you have the documentation that supports the decision. All decisions for dismissal of persons, employees at Wayne Community College don't deal with their own inappropriate behavior, however, or the fact that sometimes they have not been able to live up to job responsibilities. Equally as difficult is dismissal because of financial exigencies, and we've had some mighty tough state budgets in the last number of years, or because program numbers are not sufficient to generate the kinds of funds that are necessary. Even when the decision for dismissal is because of the person owning the problem, I still have great concern in having to bring them in and talk with them about it and letting them go. Because as has been said multiple times today, these are people. It's about people's lives. It's about wanting them to be successful in whatever else they might choose to do. So again, it is the number one negative thing that I have to do in my job. It has to happen. I have to do it. I will continue to do it because that's the role of leaders.
Okay, our very last question for our leadership conference today. Now this is where you're going to want to take out a piece of paper and a pen and make some notes. Ladies and gentlemen, on a lighter note, if you could have dinner with a current celebrity, who would it be and why?
Okay, when it comes to popular culture, I'm pretty illiterate, to be honest. I have 2 small children, my job's pretty demanding, and my husband lives 3 hours away. So as a result, I thought about this one, and I thought, I actually talked to my 19-year-old au pair, and I'm like, so who are some celebrities? And she's naming some. I'm like, no, don't know who that is. No, don't know who that is. So what I came up with, what I decided was that if I had the opportunity to have dinner with a celebrity, it would be any American president or past, because what a unique position that person is holding or has held. We are such a unique country. When you look at the big world picture, I've had the opportunity to do a lot of national security type training, and you look around the world and the different governments and things that they have, and you look throughout history, we are such an anomaly. Our democracy, it is precious what we have. It's pretty incredible the foresight that our forefathers had. I thank them for what they did. The fact that they could have the vision that all men and women are created equal, that everyone has the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So moving it forward to the presidents we've had and the things they've seen and the interactions they've had, I think that would be incredibly fascinating. And so not to bail out on the celebrity, but I don't really know any, so I'll go with that answer.
Ditto. took the same position and construed celebrity to include prominent people, and I wasn't quite as inclusive. My list was Bill Clinton or George Bush, simply because it was a leadership conference, and that's what I was thinking about. And that is the most significant leadership position, the most pressure, the highest level of accountability as far as the decisions that must be made in all areas. And I think it would be particularly interesting to talk with either one. I'm being nonpartisan on this one. Either one of those presidents, now that they've been out of office a while, and have been away from it a little bit, and maybe have some additional perspective about the things that occurred during their administrations, how they approach certain issues. Would you do things differently today? But when you look at the pressures on that position, the 24/7 news cycle we have today, all the special interests that are out there, all the different viewpoints, and then you think about a situation where they are also somewhat insulated from the way the Americans live. What lessons do you learn when you deal with leadership at that level? What were the real challenges that you face? And I think the other interesting thing might be, what was unexpected about what occurred during your administration? What surprised you the most about some of the decisions you needed to make and how you went about it?
Well, now I asked what I was supposed to do, so I called Tiffany and I said, "Can they be dead?" So I'm going to take some liberties since two of our panelists really did. My first instinct was to talk about having dinner with Hillary Clinton. Now, obviously, she is a woman of great talent, no matter what our political bent. She is a woman of great talent in her own right. She has been the First Lady of Arkansas, the First Lady in the White House, a senator. She has run for President of the United States, and now she probably has one of the most critical positions, and certainly one in which decisions are just absolutely at a point of breakage almost as Secretary of State. She has sustainability, let's face it, true intellect as well as sustainability. And then I thought, and she also lived with Bill. Speaks of itself. And then I'd want her at dinner because I do want to talk with her about her hair. That's again, I'm taking liberty. I have one other person, a female with great sustainability. And if you can start out as Gidget and the Flying Nun, and then you move to Smokey and the Bandit, and in 2012 play Mary Todd Lincoln with the depth of character that Sally Fields did, you really have some major talent. She's a pretty incredible actress, and certainly as a character actress has held her own. You know, it's not always kind for women in the entertainment field, but she has shown that she can rise above just being beautiful, but to be a real character. So I could have quite a dinner with Hillary and Sally, don't you think?
Well, obviously you guys are going to find out that I'm seated around folks at a different intellectual plane. But for me, I think it's important that you don't take yourself too seriously all the time. And as I was thinking about how to address this, I landed on Jimmy Buffett. And I thought that anybody who could come up with song titles like "There's Nothing Soft About Hard Times," "The Weather Is Here, Wish You Were Beautiful," "Mental Floss," and you call it jogging and I call it running around, that would be an interesting dinner. But he has his more serious side in terms of, if you listen to some of his songs and some of the lyrics, you might learn something from them. One of them that captured my attention many years ago. That's what living is to me. Be good and you will be lonesome and you will be free. Live a lie and you'll live to regret it. That's what living is to me. So you might learn something from some of these folks too. So, Jimmy Buffett.
Let's give all of our panelists one more round of applause.
Well, I tell you what, here we are in Margaritaville.
That was so funny for him to say Jimmy Buffett. How unexpected.
That was really unexpected, but you know, he was right on target with that. And of course, I'm a fan of Jimmy Buffett's as well.
Me too.
Are you a parrot head as well?
Well, not about that far, but but I do really like his music a lot.
I like his music too. But and he's right. Buffett has a kind of an odd way of writing, and his titles are some of them are really out there, but he does get very serious about some things.
Oh, yeah.
And he can get very serious in some of his music. So that was.
Oh, absolutely.
But it was enlightening and it was enjoyable, and I'm glad we were a part of that and that we were there.
I'm glad we could share it.
I know it was great. It was great. So way to go there.
Well, let me pose that question to you. If you could sit down with any celebrity, who might that celebrity be, and why do you think they would be your pick, or why are they your pick?
For one, Elvis, Ronald Reagan, George Washington.
And the list goes on and on.
And the list goes on. I could go on.
Tell me why those.
Why those? Well, because Elvis was more of a talent than most people give him credit for. And I'd like just to know where his head was and what he was thinking when he was first getting into show business. He always wanted to do movies.
Right.
And B, where he was at the end of his career.
That's what I'd be interested in knowing.
Very much in what
why
his thinking was and how he had progressed in his thinking. Reagan, of course.
I think he's everybody's pick.
Yeah,
you know,
Reagan is a hero of mine.
Absolutely.
But so is George Washington a hero of mine. I mean, there's so many ways our country could have gone. But he was, speaking of leadership.
Right.
He was a great leader, and again, people do not realize the leadership that Washington presented to our new nation. He and so many others, and in fact, you know, the thinking in general was that when our nation was new and we were just getting underway and just getting started, that everybody was just all happy and giggly.
Right.
You know, hey, that's fun. We're just going to have a good time. We're going to put our great nation together. It was not like that at all.
No.
There was a lot of bickering, there was a lot of fighting, there were a lot of different ideas being bandied about.
A lot of compromises that were finally made.
Yes, indeed. And it was not a happy time at all for many people. It was just, it was time of sacrifice. It was time for there was a lot of, as you mentioned, a lot of compromise. It was just interesting times, and I think Washington just kind of rose above all that and said, here's the way that I see our nation going.
Right.
But it was not only him, there were so many other people as well, and it was Patrick Henry, of course, was a great leader, and George Mason, but there were so many great leaders of that time, and we could have gone in any direction at all, any direction, but we became the nation, we became strong, and the world's leader that we are.
Oh, yeah.
We're living in trying times right now, as a matter of fact.
Oh, absolutely.
And I really feel that people should be aware of the trying times in which we live, and you should do your homework. We're still the most wonderful nation on earth, the greatest nation on earth.
No doubt about it.
And I think people should be aware of where we are and what we've been through, and if we don't pay attention, the direction we could take might be the wrong one.
Oh, yeah.
So
you're right.
People need to be aware of what we're going through right now.
You know, and it's so funny to hear you speak. a lot of the people that you just listed as people you would like to sit down and meet, that all ties right back into your love of history and you know, all the battles that were fought, and you know, you're just a big history buff, and all that sort of ties back together. It's interesting. It tells a lot about a person, you know, as to who you would want to sit down with and who you would want to have conversations with and learn from.
Oh, there's so many others as well. I like to talk to Mahatma Gandhi. I'd like to talk to Jesus. I'd like to talk to Buddha. I'd like to talk to so many others as well. There's so many ways, so many different ways you could go with that.
Oh yeah. Well, I was talking with Barbara off camera earlier. Yeah, I've got a long list too, and they're all varied.
Yeah.
In who I look up to, who I respect, who I would like to have conversations from and learn from, and some of those, you know, that may or may not be with us now.
Right.
But people like Audrey Hepburn.
Oh yeah.
People like, I mean, you know, she's just a great actress, but she was just such a smart lady. Jackie Kennedy Onassis, loved to learn from her.
Yes.
Princess Diana, would love to have a conversation about how her life changed so dramatically from being a relatively normal individual to marrying into royalty, and how she had to deal with all the day-to-day controversy, and how she had no private life or very little private life, how she dealt with that through the years. Diane Sawyer.
Oh yeah.
She's a huge fan of mine. You know, I admire her, respect her, and I was, you know, looking up a little bit of information about her and how she went from actually a beauty queen as a youngster to an evening news anchor. You know, she worked on the CBS News back in 1978.
Right.
She was the first woman correspondent on 60 Minutes.
That's true.
She, you know, that was unusual. That was the first time that any woman had held a major place in news. You know, it was the first time she had been a co-anchor for ABC's Good Morning America. But when she was young, from Kentucky, she was she was a young girl who was crowned Junior Miss America.
Yeah.
You know, so she had ambition, she had poise, she had grace, she had elegance, but she had brains, she had willpower. She set goals for herself and was determined to reach those goals. I don't know, I just think she's a great correspondent, and think she's a great person for young women today to look up to.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're absolutely
right. And we have to have really good role models, I think, for our children. You have to be strong individuals, and you have to set good morals for your kids. And we could sit here and preach all day. But
yeah, let's see now. Julia Child, I'd love to talk to her because she was a war hero before she was a cook. Condoleezza Rice, I'd love to talk to her. She's wonderful.
Hillary Clinton would be such an interesting person to talk to.
She would be interesting, yeah. All right.
Just be interesting.
You know what? The show's only an hour long, and we could sit here and talk about this all
You're
day.
Exactly right. You're exactly right. And we'll move on.
Okay.
Let's see.
If we must.
I think we must. And I think actually up next we have the interview, I believe, with Sherry Archibald. She's going to talk about the history of the Paramount, and she's going to talk about the gala that's coming up. That is the big celebration of the 5 years since the Paramount has been rebuilt. So stay tuned and let's hear more from Sherry Archibald. Hey, good morning. I'm Kim Best, your host. I'm here today with Sherry Archibald with the Paramount Theater, and Sherry is going to give us updates on what's happening at the Paramount for the next couple weeks.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, January you usually think of as a time for slowing down.
But not at the Paramount.
And it is a little slower than the last 3 months, which has been very hairy, which is a wonderful problem.
Exactly.
But it really is kind of, you don't have much of a break until it's picking up again. So I share that because it's really important for our viewers to keep up with our website, to keep up with upcoming events, and of course our series is rolling along, and it's doing really well this year, I'm excited to say.
What is the next piece of the series?
The next show is January the 12th with Faye Lane's Beauty Shop Stories.
Yes, I'm excited about that
I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think, you know, of course, guys are going to like it too, but it just seems like a real fun girls' night out. Exactly. So I think it'll be real enjoyable in that way. This particular performer, Faye Lane, is a stand-up comedian, and she's from Texas, and she just talks about the stories that she remembers of being in her mom's beauty shop.
So she was truly a girl
she
growing
truly
up
is.
in a hair salon.
She remembers talking into that hairbrush and singing into it,
That is too funny.
and so she tells all the stories about all of these ladies that would come into the shop and what they would say and do. And she just really is, she's got such a wonderful accent. I love to hear her talk. And she's very happy. But on the stage, I've seen her perform, and it's just really a lot of fun. It's a night full of laughs. So that's coming up
to
soon.
Get their tickets, grab their girlfriends, and come on down to the Paramount.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, talking about being a girls' night out, it's a great time to go have a little party at your home first, or go out to a restaurant beforehand, and then come on and enjoy the show. It starts at 7:30.
How much are those tickets?
And those tickets are $18.
Okay.
All of that, of course, is online at our website, too, at goldsboroparamount.com. But we're excited about the next show in the series. It's been quite a lineup. I mean, we've already had one comedian.
Have had a great one.
And she was just, she's such an easy sell, Jeannie Robertson.
She certainly is.
And she was a lot of fun.
Sellout for that
we
show,
did.
You had a sellout.
We did.
She
We
is a
probably
miss.
could have sold out again.
Yeah, she needs a 2-night show.
She really does. She was wonderful. So we're excited to have another female comedian to come and brighten up the night.
Oh,
so
yes. Oh, yes.
that's coming up, and a part of our series, so that's the next one. And I would also say that go ahead and mark your calendars for, save the date for February the 8th, because it is going to be a really nice night to remember at the Paramount Theater. It is our anniversary, 5 years.
5 years,
February
that's right.
the 8th.
Congratulations.
So I think it's going to be a really nice night. And we're
5 successful years. I mean, you all
It
have
has
just
been.
grown by leaps and bounds, and you're booked almost every weekend. That's
We
fantastic.
are, and some days, as we were just talking about, are double book days.
Yes,
So
yes.
it's been going really well. One of the things that I'm excited about is it's been a gradual increase in rental, a gradual increase in revenue. And it's hard for me to say that because I wanted it to be way
Build
here
up
really
every night,
fast.
yeah.
But it takes that, you know, that gradualness, and we're getting there. So I'm excited to say that things are going really well there, and we're pleased with the series. The professional series is just, it's just a bonus. I mean, we have
Right.
such great community theater here, so it's wonderful to have both.
It is, you know, and our community is so lucky to have such a nice theater right here in our hometown, because so many communities don't have that.
We really are, and it's so often that I hear that folks come in and say, if they've never been there before, they are in awe
Yes.
over the facility and the fact that it is here, that it's ours, and something that we can use. And a lot of folks are taking advantage of it. We're having weddings there.
Yeah, y'all changed things up a bit.
We
You're having all
have.
kinds of different events take place in the Paramount.
Birthday parties, I mean, you name it, it can happen. So there's a use. Of course, movies too. We've talked about that, and so it's a lot of wonderful things going on.
So tell me some of the next few weeks that are coming up at the Paramount.
Well, in January, we do have, of course, with Faye Lane, and also the next week on the 18th is Wayne Community Concerts, who has an annual series with us. They're bringing Robert Post, who is a comedian.
Just a good lineup of comedians.
We do. I know there's a lot of laughs to be had for sure, but I have seen him on the stage too, and he's very funny. So just that slapstick, giddy funny. You'll really like watching him. So he is there, and that's for Wayne Community Concert members. But they have an opportunity, if you're not a member, to come and buy a ticket too. That you're able to do that at $20 at the door.
At the door, okay.
But if you are a member, I think it's $55.
Yeah.
For the
all
whole
the shows.
whole
Yeah,
series.
it's a great deal.
You just can't beat that.
Yeah.
So they've been around for a very long time, and they do a wonderful job too, seeking out quality entertainment.
Right.
So we have that in January, and of course we have the Miss Goldsboro pageant, which is
That's right.
always a really big deal because we have such amazing talent on the stage,
do.
and it's exciting to hear who's going to be next and who's going to carry things on for us. So.
That's right. And our current Miss Goldsboro's done a fantastic job.
She
Mazingo
has.
She's been all over this community and all over the state, and represented us well at Miss North Carolina, making top 10. So that always is that extra added bonus.
That's
But
exciting.
then she comes back here and entertains and does a lot of events and visits schools and those kind of things. So we keep her very busy.
Absolutely.
January 26th, that's right.
So that's coming up. So those are some of the things happening in January, and like I said, we're getting ready for the gala. So that will be a lot
all
of
all of February, you have something going on every weekend.
Every weekend and every day.
my
I
goodness.
don't think we have an open day. Weekdays are also filled. Stage Struck will be getting ready for their musical debut.
Music Man.
They're doing the Music Man, and every one of their musicals are fun. They
are.
really do an amazing
That's
job.
the big to-do at Stage Struck is the one
It
that
is.
always happens in the early spring, I guess I should say.
But I think Music Man is really going to be a driver. They're going to be
yeah.
excited about that. So that will be coming up in February. They'll be getting prepared for that soon after Miss Goldsboro. So
That's right.
that'll
They'll be moving
coming
in
up
right
soon.
after that.
So lots of things coming up, and of course I'll be coming back to talk about our
That's
February events, and excited to share
you
that.
have so many different things to choose from. There's something there for everybody.
That's true.
No matter what you like or what you're interested in, you have something at the Paramount almost every month that everybody can enjoy and pick and choose what their specialty area is.
Well, you're right. Between jazz and country, bluegrass, there's just all kinds of
That's
different
right.
types of
Yeah, of
performances,
course, don't forget the
comedy.
comedians. Lots and lots
And
of
everyone
comedians.
loves that. So
Oh,
yeah, there's all kinds of performances. So if you keep up with the website, you're going to be able to see what's going on.
And you have a calendar on your website that goes all the way out for, what, the entire year?
2014.
Goodness, 2014, to see what's happening.
Yes, and we'll be booking. We cut things off about 2 years ahead, and really that is for our local community groups, so that, because it's difficult for them to say, oh my gosh, we don't want to lose our dates, but we cannot be paying deposits for 15 years in advance, and we don't want to lose those dates. So to try to accommodate that need also, we book 2 years in advance. So on January 1, we'll be booking for 2015.
Good gracious.
I've already had phone calls and requests about it. So we'll be looking at several years in advance.
Wow. Well, you all try to keep a nice balance of local amateur performers, but also professionals that you bring in from other communities as well.
So it's really important for us to be able to do that.
To showcase both. Yeah. Well, thank you, Sherry. We appreciate it. It sounds like you all have a full calendar for us to choose from on what's happening at the Paramount Theater. And give us your website one more time.
It's GoldsboroParamount.com.
There you go. That's what's happening in your community at the Paramount Theater.
I invest in United Way to give back to the community because there are so many people that need help. Please join me in watching how your investment has impacted the Wayne County community.
I'm too close to heaven and I can't turn around.
Mr. Rayner and I grew up in the same part of Wayne County, a friendship from the very beginning. He's a good buddy.
They help people who can't go out and help people who can't cook for themselves or no way to get food. So that's what it helps so much.
They need to know somebody that's on their team. They need to know somebody that believes in them, somebody that's rooting for them to do well, and honestly believes they can.
Like, I needed help with homework and all that, and he was there for me, and graduation project, he was there for me.
Without a great coach, you're not going to have a great team. You're not going to have people graduating. And he's like a great coach to me. He provides students with more than what they need to pass. He provides a lot of times foundation that the kids do not have at home. And I think that is very important.
And I honestly believe it's because these kids know that I care about them. You know, I would not be here if I didn't.
By investing in United Wayne, you are actually giving schools a person who really cares.
It helps us with our leadership skills. It teaches us character and like real life situations that we're to encounter and how to deal with them.
Before Angelique participated in the Smart Moves program and becoming a member of the club, her attitude was it was going downhill. She was disrespectful to her mom, disrespectful to some of the staff here. After being a part of the Smart Moves programs, her attitude has improved. She's willing to help out. I believe that the Smart Moves program that's offered here at the club has given Angelique the tools needed to succeed in life, to build a solid foundation as far as her growing up as a positive role model in today's society.
Investing in United Wayne, you're investing in me. It's It has given me the chance to be a leader and be a positive role model to all the other people around me.
I wanted something that I could do with my daughter one-on-one so that we could grow in our relationship and have those memories that we always take with us. Now as they're getting older and they understand the impact they can make for the community, to start really getting involved. Being well-rounded, going through the CPR courses that they're going to be taking, so they can help somebody, that maybe one day they can be that hero that saves somebody or makes a difference in somebody else's life. I think it's affected me for the better. I think it's made me a better person. I think I'm more aware of the things that are going on in my community and the way that I can help impact.
From the time I first got there, I was kind of apprehensive about everything in the surroundings, but it afforded me a good opportunity to be able to look for work and have a steady place to stay. Because it's a good safe haven, and the people that work there really care about you. I pretty much made this my home. I started working at the ARC, and I always say the Lord blessed me to get that job. And Salvation Army really opened the door for me. It really did. And gave me an opportunity to get actively involved in the ministry of the Salvation Army as well. So I'm excited.
I am United Wayne.
We are United Wayne.
I am United Wayne.
We are United Wayne.
I am United Wayne.
We are United Wayne.
We are United Wayne.
We are United Wayne.
Welcome back. What an interesting date in history to hear Sherry, go back as far as when the Paramount was first built and how it transitioned and changed through the years and how our community came together once again to make wonderful things happen.
Yeah, I love the Paramount.
Absolutely, and she keeps it busy.
I know she does. She's doing a great job over there.
So tell us who's got a birthday today.
Well, birthday today for Sean Patrick Thomas. The actor is 42 today. Birthday today for Sarah Dowland. Sarah Dowland is 51. She belongs to the group Bananarama.
Oh, yes.
And singer Sharon White is having a birthday. She is 59 years today. The year was 2003. It was 2003. It was only 9 short years ago when a guy he was a bank robber in New Mexico. He went to have his conviction overturned. And he went to court and said, you know what, I need to be found not guilty of this crime of robbing the bank. Because he said it was because of the absolute idiocy of the crime. It proved that he was just too intoxicated at the time to be responsible. So he felt he should be found innocent. They didn't buy that at all.
I wouldn't think so.
You're going to stay in jail.
I wouldn't think so.
But it was actually interesting that somebody would bring that up as an argument. Well, I was drunk, and I wasn't, it was not very bright at all.
Obviously, he wasn't thinking very clearly then either.
That's right. Good point. What you got?
I want to give you the holiday schedule for the city of Goldsboro. We will observe Christmas holiday on Monday, December the 24th, Tuesday, December 25th, and Wednesday, December 26th. All sanitation service scheduled for Monday, December 24th will be serviced that day. There are no schedule changes from Monday, December 24th. All sanitation services for Tuesday will be serviced on Wednesday, December 26th. City of Goldsboro will observe New Year's on Tuesday, January 1st. All sanitation services that are typically scheduled for Tuesday, January 1st, will be serviced on Wednesday, January the 2nd.
Most of the Wayne County offices, there's some exceptions, I won't get into those, but most of the Wayne County offices will be closed on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. That's Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and the day after. Most of them will. The Wayne County offices will also be closed on New Year's Day. That's Tuesday the 1st. Some of the offices will be open on the 27th. Most of them will be open on the 31st. Anyway, call the Wayne County office to find out if you have business with Wayne County anywhere. Call the office this week to find out what their schedule is going to be. Well, coming up on Tuesday's program, that's Tuesday's program,
December the 18th.
December the 18th, we have, what do we have?
We have a visit to Royals Classic Barbershop in downtown Goldsboro. We go and visit with Mr. Percy, and it is an interesting interview. You'll look forward to seeing that.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yes, it was.
That was fun.
I believe we'll also have the Register of Deeds.
Oh, yeah. Lois Mooring, the Register of Deeds, Wayne County, is going to be with us to tell us about what's going on in that office.
And, of course, Paige Leonard from Crime Stoppers.
Exactly. Paige's going to be with us. So
That's
we
right.
have a lot
That's
to talk
all
about
tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right. In the meantime, stay with us every day, Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Then the show repeats at noon, and then again at 5:30, and then at either 8 or 11 p.m. Also on YouTube.
That's exactly right. And Wayne, we want to remind everybody the last show before the holidays will be on December the 21st. We'll take a hiatus, and you'll see shows that have already been run, and then we'll return back live on January the 7th.
Wow.
That's
January
exactly
7th
right.
we'll be back. All right. But between now and Friday, or until the 21st.
Until the 21st, we'll be right here.
I'm so confused. We'll be here. Tune in. We'll be here anyway.
That's right. Well, thank you for watching. We appreciate your support and continued viewership.
That's right.
And until tomorrow, I'm Kim Best.
I'm Wayne Alley. Thanks for watching WGTV today.